Hi, welcome to Culture and Causation. This is Aaron Briley. And in today's episode, I really want to give you some of my background and I want to discuss really how I came to have the views that I have and what my purpose is for this podcast. So today's title is called Who is Aaron Briley? So, as a child, I remember looking up at the screen one day, at the TV screen, and seeing a man larger than life beating up the bad guys. He was a force for good, and I knew it. I could just tell. So I asked my cousin who was sitting next to me, I said, what's his name? Oh, that's Bruce Lee, he said. And I thought to myself, wow, someday I want to be just like him. And, on that day, when I was 10 years old, that's when my professional career began. Because, although Bruce Lee was fighting bad guys on film, he wasn't just a brute, just beating people up senselessly. He was using his mind, which was embodied in his superior technique. He was using that. It was that element that was defeating these villains. And so seeing that made a huge impression on me. And I also felt, after watching, wasn't just that one movie, but watching everything that he did, that to me, he was engaging in this moral struggle. He was part of this eternal struggle of good versus evil. And once again, I didn't conceptualize it at the age of 10 or 11 in these terms, but this is how I felt. And this is really what it was. And so, although I didn't have his spectacular kicks or his killer physique, he really did inspire me to have the courage to face challenges and the confidence to beat them. And as a result, I enrolled in karate lessons. And then later on, after graduating from high school, I decided to move to Los Angeles. And my goal, was to be Bruce Leroy. What else? And so that was the beginning of a martial arts career that was filled with many enriching experiences. And it was around that time, after being in LA for some years and training and competing and teaching, that I had the opportunity to teach and live in Copenhagen, Denmark. Yes, that Denmark. The land of Hans Christian Andersen's The Ugly Duckling and The Little Mermaid. And I had a great time. And then one day out of the blue, a friend from California called me. Hey, Aaron, have you heard of Ayn Rand? Ann who? No, Ayn Rand. No, who is he? Who is he? She was a writer and philosopher who believed in reason and saw individuals as the heroes of their own lives. I thought of her when you told me that you had trouble getting your business off the ground in Copenhagen. And I thought to myself, this is interesting. And so for the next few weeks, this friend of mine, he would call a few days a week, and he would read excerpts of her books. And I really couldn't believe what I was hearing. Because here was someone, in these novels that knew exactly what I was going through. And I remember he read a passage, one of the first passages he read was from Ayn Rand's novel, The Fountainhead. And here it was. Quote, "Notice how they'll accept anything except a man who stands alone. They recognize him at once. There's a special insidious kind of hatred for him. They forgive criminals. They admire dictators. Crime and violence are a tie, a form of mutual dependence. They need ties. They've got to force their miserable little personalities on every single person they meet. The independent man kills them because they don't exist within him, and that's the only form of existence they know. Notice the malignant kind of resentment against any idea that propounds independence. Notice the malice toward an independent man," unquote. Wow. I had never heard anything like this. And, when something like that hits you, and it's something that you've been experiencing all your life, it resonates so deeply that it really just blows you away. And it wasn't just there in Denmark. It wasn't something new. I had experienced this in some form all of my life, from strangers, friends, and even family. So that made a huge impression on me. And especially because, growing up, I grew up as an only child. And I had always moved to the beat of my own drum. But after listening to Rand, it was much clearer. I had an explanation now for why I was criticized and how, unfortunately, it was to be expected. What I learned from Rand, in her larger-than-life way, is that ideas matter, and they have life and death consequences. And when I began to take this seriously, everything changed. I went back to school, I overcame bad habits, and I achieved goals I thought were impossible. And I knew that, if it could work for me, it could certainly work for other people as well. So I began to think, I was thinking, well, who really needs these ideas the most? How could I have the most impact with these ideas? And then it came to me, inner city communities. These are the areas in the country with the worst rates of social pathology, such as single motherhood, poverty, incarceration, crime, education, and more. And I knew that if they had the right ideas, if people in these communities embraced the right ideas, it would be a game changer. So this is where I put all my focus. And this is the reason why I started a podcast called Culture and Causation. The culture in the title is the beliefs, ideas, and values that people in a community hold. And causation refers to how these ideas create change. Ideas are powerful. And although I think most people would agree with that, I don't know if they fully understand how powerful ideas are. They're life-changing. They can build up nations, they can tear nations down, they can inspire people to, achieve their dreams. They can cause people to take their own lives. Ideas are everything. With better ideas, people can take better actions. And with better actions, people live better lives. I see the inner city going from where it is now to a hotbed of intellectual and entrepreneurial achievement. And that is what I want to inspire. I want to help our fellow Americans unlock the tsunami of productive energy they haven't tapped into. Do you want to help me? Listen to my show. Invite me to speak. Together we can take part in what I believe will be one of the biggest social revolutions this country has ever seen. Thank you.